Hello. Okay. Today is probably going to be a short one. At least that's the plan. We're going to talk about RippleJS. This is the famous since JS framework. Yeah. The famous the website about days since the last web framework. This is kind of like finally happening. The new JS framework is Ripple. We didn't have ones for a bit, so um, the website is a new thing, and the last time I clicked on it, it didn't have a website. Yeah, so the idea is that we're just going to play with it. I'm going to kind of like see my thoughts and see if it even like works at all. And yeah, uh, let's see. There are like a few interesting things about it, right? So one is that it doesn't have VDOM, but it also doesn't use signals, right? And I think right now it doesn't have SSR. So a lot of the interesting things that were happening around SSR in the frameworks lately. So it's going to be like tricky to compare that part, but yeah. Anyway, so let's start. I know that they have playground. I'd never seen it before. I'm hoping that it has the. Nope, it doesn't. um, what I like about like Playground or Solid.js is that it allows you to see all the ways that everything is kind of like compiled and all that stuff. Is like, oh, this is the SSR build, this is client build, this is like client code for hydration, this is this and that, and yeah, fortunately it doesn't have that, but it's going to be good anyway. Yeah. So how would you start? Obviously, disclaimer, like it's a very beta. Um, the author Dominic, he also created um Inferno. He worked at React and he worked at Svelte. So yeah, like he knows what he's doing. And obviously, kind of like he wanted to probably like just uh, I don't know how to say it, but just like use the best of all the worlds that he'd been playing with. I'm not going to read the introduction. You can do that if you want to. I'm just going to start with the code. Uh, okay, so uh, I already created the folder, so I want to use that. Uh, Digit. I think the lore is that it was created by Rich Harris, the guy who created Svelte. So I guess it's a bit of a it's a bit of a nod to cloned. Okay, this is cloned, but it got stuck. So well, I'm going to kill it. Um, so we're going to install dependencies, whatever that is. I guess npm, and we're going to try to start some sort of dev command. Okay, it's there, and we have a quintessential. Everyone has to have it, like a counter example. Okay, that's good. So source assets. Yeah, so it's create read. Okay. Uh, yeah. So far, nothing surprising. Oh yeah, like the TypeScript stuff is not there yet. Well, that's fine. Right. Okay, so I'm missing the VS Code extension. I think somewhere, yeah, somewhere in docs it's mentioning it. So let's try to install it. Actually, I want to use cursor. So Ripple for VS Code. Nope. Interesting. Uh, they might have not pushed it to the cursor thing yet. Okay, that's interesting. Well, I guess let's try VS Code just so that we have like the full experience. Okay. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do like search extensions. Yeah, so it's there. Yeah, okay. So it's there in the official one, but not in the cursor one. Okay, well, yeah. So, oh, Ripple. Okay, yeah. So we can see the syntax highlighting at least. Okay. And now the part that we want to see is probably kind of like the compiled output and whatnot. So the way to do it is that uh, basically like in onClick, I'm going to add a debugger. Oh, interesting. That died. Uh, okay. Oh yeah, that worked, but not really. What's gonna? Uh, what is this? Is it like their tabs? Oh, why is it removing it? Save without formatting. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what's removing it. Maybe it's REPL like VS Code extension. But yeah. So here I'm in the interesting. It has the source maps and stuff. So like it looks good on the source maps. Okay, so what about the compiled output? Right. So where's our debugger? Debugger. Okay. Yeah. So this is our onClick. Okay. Yeah. So now let's compare it with the playground. So if I put it in the playground, how much are like how much are we seeing the same thing? Right. So root, onClick, debugger, onClick app. Okay. So it's the same thing. Yeah, I think it's exactly the same thing. Inner HTML. Yeah, except for this line, I guess. Interesting. Why is this line different? Yeah, maybe their like CSS plugin works differently, and they're like handling the CSS block in some sort of special way. Yeah, I guess let me put that in some sort of to-do. Check how they do styles, because like I know that like Svelte does things for styles. Anyway, uh, yeah. So we have _1 _block and count. Uh, okay, so what is _1? That's the event. Okay, well that makes sense. And yeah, Node has React, so it has like real events and all that stuff. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm like missing chat. Uh, what's the point? What's the point of everything, right? Is just make sure that the number of days since JS framework stays 0. That's the point. Yeah, but there is some sort of block. This is something that like saves the like the state presumably. um there's like a first last stuff, so like that reminds me like how uh maybe they like the walk the other components and whatnot. Okay, yeah, and there is some sort of link to elements. Okay. I think the question is, if I create a new component for this now, so I'm going to create counter.ripple, and I'm going to put yeah, and then if I save it, like removes the debugger. That's annoying. Okay, so now this one is going to be counter. Yeah, so the first thing that you notice is that there is like this like component thing. This is actually React Flow component hook. This is for me that's coming from like Flow integration. That's not the right. That's right, not the right flow. Yeah. So the flow that is like competitor to TypeScript, right? Uh, they have like a kind of like a better integration with React, right? And like part of it is that like you can say like, hey, this is a hook. It's not a function that starts with use, right? But it's a hook and it works by the rules of hooks and all that stuff. And they have components. Yeah, so it's like funny to see that he took that idea from React because like I think at Facebook most of the internal stuff is written in Flow. They do a lot of like external stuff in TypeScript now because it's like, well, if like most people are going to use it from TypeScript, why not? But yeah, that was kind of like a funny thing, right? Because it will like yell at you. It will know what's with the style block. Yeah, I still don't know what's with the style block. But yeah, we'll know soon enough. Okay, so the plan is I want to do just the counter stuff in the counter component, and then here where we have a counter, I'm going to class counter. Okay, I'm going to import counter uh, and import counter from REPL. It's going to yell at us TypeScript. I think. Okay, so let's just try. Okay, did something wrong. Counter does not provide the name. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh, interesting that like inside of REPL I can import the REPL. It's just from the outside that I can't. Okay, yeah. So this is the bracket is missing. Uh, so this is what I was interested in. You see that like the styles are broken now. So they are broken because they are probably scoped. So if I copy this style into this, right now it works. But if it's in the other file, it doesn't. I'm curious, what's exactly like the styles that we need. Probably not this. Probably not this. Not this. Yeah, but this. There's like something broken about styling. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to fix it. Yeah, okay. And so what about this? Yeah, so that we also need this. So we need the button and the count, right? So that means that like this button, we're going to say I don't know, F-A, right? I'm going to do this, and I'm going to search it, right? So, oh, interesting. It says unused. That's funny. Uh, yeah. So REPL dash something something, right? So it's scoped all the styles. So that container is not just a container, right? Which one is it? Right, so that's the app. So app doesn't need this. Yeah. So this container, it will have the like the random ID. Yeah, I don't know if that's a new thing. Can inspect styles. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Sorry. Yeah. So I think Astro does that by default as well. Like kind of like by default, styles are scoped. I think in Astro, the syntax is something like that. So you like write like global, and then you're like saying, "Oh, that's like a global container." Let's just quickly see if they have anything about styling. Yeah. So REPL supports native styling. Style element be top level within the component. Okay, that's interesting. So if I move this style here, no, that didn't do anything. Are they lying? People could be lying on the internet? What's going on? Yeah, I don't know. I think it still works, even if it's not top level. Okay. Okay, so they don't have any information about like how to make it global or anything like that, but uh, yeah, that's kind of like how Astra works, for example. If you just use like styles, and I think in Astra you can do like is inline, and then it will like stop doing the then it will stop pre-processing, and you could use like a global styles. Maybe here you if you put it in like in a style file, yeah, let's try app.style. And I guess yeah, just move all of this stuff there. Oh, sorry, not style. I get hoodwinked. Okay, so and let's say import uh, 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 CSS. Okay, so that's yeah, so that's going to be like a just like a Vite import. So like those rules about style text don't work anymore, and this one is going to be global. Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, I wasn't expecting this, but yeah, that's cool. Okay, so the idea then is that like, well, now I have like app, and I have like two counters, right? And the state is separate now, and the question is, if I add a debugger here and I save without formatting because VS Code for some reason removes debugger. So if I click on this one, I'm getting count one block. And if I click on this one, I get count one block, but presumably the blocks are somehow different. So 5, 1, 2, 2, 5, 1, 2, 2. Okay, it's not immediately clear how they're different. uh, but yeah, presumably they are somehow. So first is 4110, 4100, and this one, yeah, they look the same. So I don't know. I don't know how they are. I don't know how they're doing it. C8, C9, C10, C11. Okay, so it's not like ID. Yeah, I see the V, so I see value. So like this count, the dollar sign count, right? So that has that is like different count in like different counters. Uh, okay. Yeah. So now the question is like, can I make them global? So like, if I do this, like, what is going to happen? Right? Yeah. Okay. So it doesn't compile. Block is not defined. That's funny. Yeah, it's not the best error message. Context. Kind of don't care about the context. Events. Uh, decorators. What are decorators? REPL provides to capture the line down element. Specify using the syntax. Okay, that's some sort of ref. I'm curious why they call it decorators. If you're familiar with other frameworks, then identical to attach in Svelte 5. Yeah, I'm not familiar with Svelte 5. All right, so you can use. It's kind of like a mix of React refs, I guess, in Svelte. Okay, so there is this syntax. Interesting. What does that do? Property accessors. Okay, so it allows you to do like a set. Oh, that's interesting. That like this is close to like some of the Marco stuff that like Dylan was showing on like Ryan stream. Uh, pr- provide similar capabilities. Interesting. Yeah, I guess it's like a synthetic sugar for some of the craziness because they like don't use like direct signals. So yeah, we didn't figure out why they are not signals. Why no signal? Right. Okay. So children is reactive. Okay. Try statements. Oh, that's funny. This, but like component can fail. Yeah, that has like a funky syntax. Control flow effect. Okay, well, let's start with effect because we don't have one yet. Okay, and you put effect right in the component, which feels a bit like scary for my React brain. Okay, can I put debugger inside of effect? No. why does it? Why doesn't it like it? It's so crazy. Okay. Okay. Oh, interesting. So effect runs right away. Uh, is that how it works? Yeah, I guess that's how it should work. Okay. Okay, give me a second. Okay. Yeah. So that's fine. Yeah. So now the same kind of like question. What are the? Oh, it actually doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have any. Oh, there's a closure that has count text. Interesting. So text is probably like this. I can't click on it, but yeah, text content one, right? So like that's like the thing that needs to keep in track. And there's like this block, which like I still have no idea what that means, but I guess block function is the component itself. Oh, that's maybe like a parent. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, and some refs. Uh, okay. Okay, so it's similar. Okay. Um, yeah, and I guess like the HMR works, right? No, doesn't. Well, does it? Yeah, it reloads the whole page. Yeah, so they don't have HMR yet. That's fine. That's fine. Um, okay. Um, okay. I'm getting a lot of like I'm getting a lot of like my answers, my questions answered. But I should do like a bit of like a review as well. Okay. Signals. Let's figure out the signals, right? So if we have effects and if we have state, what is this state, right? So let's start with simple console log count, right? So what am I going to see? I'm going to see the value 0, right? And similarly, like inside of effect, it's just a value. Okay. Where's this one coming from, by the way? Oh, oops. Um, yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. And like this part didn't rerun, right? So it's not like React where like the components are rerunning. Um, yeah. So uh, sorry. So what I want to do is I want to have like a let toggle, and then it's like if toggle, then do this, otherwise do this, and there's going to be like a show hide button. Okay, messed up the syntax again. Uh, what? Oh yeah. So this can't be. This can't be there. Unknown JSX element. Interesting. It's I don't use VS Code, so it's like it's a bit annoying. Okay. Uh, okay. So let's start there. So the button works. So now I want to do like a conditional, right? And it doesn't know how to do it. So I should not be using uh I should not be using like the braces. Maybe it's just like if toggle then counter. Okay, yeah, so it works like that. Okay, it's a bit annoying in terms of. Okay, so now I have some state. I'm hiding it, and I'm showing it, right? So like now the render is happening, right? Because like now the render is like I don't have this component on the screen anymore. Now if I need to show it, I need to call render, but otherwise render is not going to be called again once it's already there. Am I the only one who is freaking out when they see some state being mutated like this? Yeah, I yeah, this doesn't look good, but that's what unwashed masses are asking for, I guess. Yeah, so we saw this thing is like you can't do this because it like everything in REPL is JavaScript. So it's like, what is this counter thing? Like you didn't declare counter, and it's like, oh, it's a counter string, and it's like, well, you should have said that. I'm curious if it will work like this. Yeah, because like you can do space. Oh, it removed the space. That's interesting. Oh, that's funny. I have like some issues with that with Astro. I think they're like using like some like funky parser, and like sometimes the like spaces will like show up in some random places. Yeah, people people asking for mutability everywhere. That's what's happening. Okay, yeah. So that's like a in terms of like JSX, like that syntax looks funky. Um, there is obviously kind of like a question about Svelte, right? Like in Svelte, you would do something like this, right? Because like everything is HTML, and you have like a special like ways of like expressing template concerns. But like here, everything is JavaScript. It's interesting that like it doesn't let me add like extra extra white space. Everything in JavaScript. So if you want to do HTML, you have to like escape it. It's not crazy. I think it like my brain starts to move like into like, well, maybe I will like have that as a constant, right? And then maybe I will put it here. Uh, will that work? No. Like you still have to do this. You can probably do something like tense text content equals x. No, that doesn't work. Interesting. Text, either HTML. No, that doesn't work. Well, we tried. Uh, I can't move past React JSX. Yeah, yeah. This is a different way, and uh, he's a different guy. So like I'm allowing it. Yeah. So yeah, how much do I want to do all the activity stuff? Like the biggest question is like, why are we not calling it signals? That's the biggest question, right? Is like which thing, like how would we even know if they're signals or not, right? Probably all the getters. Probably like that's the part that is going to be interesting, right? So Uh, when working with props and composite objects, it can sometimes be difficult to debug why a certain value is in a certain way. JavaScript gives us a way to do this on an object using get syntax. So I have a name function that returns a name. So Ripple provides similar capabilities when working with composite components with the dot equals, not dot column equals. In fact, when you use accessors, you must pass a function and the prop must be prefixed. Okay. Not, not huge fan of this so far. Yeah, okay. Well, uh, let's try to have some sort of state. Let's say initial count is going to be 0, and we want to pass that state to counter, right? So what exactly is going to happen? So I'm presuming for now. Okay, I was like, does it matter for now? Yes, it does. Okay, so this pass. Interesting. Okay, so uh, I have like some ideas. So imagine. Okay, let's show the initial count first. So what's the syntax for props? If I just do props, and I just do props here, what is going to happen here? Yeah, okay, so they are normalized as numbers. Okay, so the thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to say initial count plus math random, right? So this way it will actually be like changing. I need to do it on a different one. I want to do it on this one. So now if I hide something, right? So the like this thing had to rerun when the new rendering happened, but it's not like React where everything had to rerun. Oh, I'm getting some comments. Okay, so where am I going with this? Yeah, the Wooler separator, right? So like now I'm saying like, hey, I have a function, and that function is going to like return this. Okay, didn't like my syntax. That's not what I was expecting. Accessor props must always be $sign prefixed as they are reactive. Okay. What are we talking about? What is $sign prefixed? Okay. So it should be here, like the $sign. $sign initial count. Okay. Still didn't work. Let's try to save without formatting. I don't like that it like removes my code because it's like, oh, how do I like go back? Okay, so this one is different. It has this symbol thing. Right. So it's like a special thing. But also, yeah. Okay. Like this is slightly annoying. I think that's where I'm going with this. This is slightly annoying to write. But I can see why he's doing it. I think doing it that way makes it like more performant because like you're not paying just in case if this thing is reactive. You have to say kind of like right ahead if it is reactive or not. Um yeah, this is the thing that like Ryan Kurniata would talk about is like, well, kind of like it's a bit like more ergonomic to like not think about it and like always treat it as like accessor. But yeah, I think I'm getting why they're doing it. Okay, so like now let's try to figure out why it doesn't like the syntax. So right, so they're saying get it get it as a variable. Can I just call that variable here? I'm curious. Yeah, so const get count, I guess, equals this this thing, right? So and can I put get count here? Okay, didn't blow up this time. Okay, but it did blow up here. Okay, so I'm guessing it's just their parser doesn't know how to read it yet. It feels okay. Okay, so this did blow up. uh, okay, this is annoying. Okay, right. So I'm still doing the syntax wrong. Oh, interesting. So it returns like a $sign thing here. Is that why it's yelling at me? Okay, so if I right, so it's get name here, get count here. Okay. So one thing that you need to try is that if it's this, no, it's not this. Huh. Well, let's try simple. Recite toggle. Okay, if I do this, no, it still blows up. You can also inline function. Yeah, like why doesn't this work? So if I can inline functions, and if I do toggle, right, that should work. Uh, makes me appreciate JSX. Yeah, a bit of my lore is that I used React for like 2 years without JSX because we were like, well, that's not that important. And like TypeScript didn't support it at the time, so we're like, yeah, TypeScript is more important than this, so let's not worry about it. Okay, so let me try this. If I just go to like their playground and if I just put this in, it shows it as like red. Right. Yeah. So uh maybe the readme is out of sync or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. Also there's like a separate get name and set name. inline version. Okay, let's just try this just to see if we're going crazy. Yeah, so it doesn't work. Okay, I think README is just out of sync or whatever, so we're not going to dwell too deeply on this. Okay, yeah, and then when you get props, the props will have the dollar sign because you have to declare it as a dollar sign, and then you're able to write into it if they provided the writer. The refs, other care, styling, context, yeah, all of this stuff is I don't really care. Uh, I guess the question is is it more ergonomic than Svelte? No, it's not. I think the goal is not to make it ergonomic. The goal is probably to just get as much speed as possible. Right. So now they have to do their own arrays, so they are um reactive. They own sets, so they are reactive. Their own app maps. It's not, yeah. Again, it's it allows you to not like uh it allows you to not monkey patch existing objects, which is faster. Uh, yeah. Okay. I think this is probably the only thing that we are going to play with is the derived things. Right. So if I have count, uh, if I have count, and now I want to print out the count. If I want to click on things, it's there. And if I have two effects, one depends on the count and one depends on the double. They both run. I'm curious what's the order, right? That's funny. Okay, and the idea is that if count, right? So how do I write some sort of expression here? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an AFI. Oops, that's interesting. Okay, didn't break it yet. So let's say return this and console log count. Okay. Okay. The formatter breaks it. So if I say without formatting, it works. Yeah, so their VS Code extension is more it's doing more harm than good. Yeah, but anyway, so the idea is that so if uh if count is equals let's say 3, return 4. So once it count jumps from 2 to 3, the count will jump but the double will not. So now we see both. Now we see both. Now we see calculating double and counter but not double, right? So it behaves like signals, but it's not signals. Okay, so now let's quickly see what it compiles down to, and yeah, I'm forgetting to check on the chat. Bots. Okay, just took a look at the repo. What an amazing idea and syntax. Okay, well, there are some people who like it. Yeah, for me it looks a bit of how to say it. I think that's a Dominic's thing, is that he's how can I make just very I don't know, like distilled, or like, oh, if we didn't worry about like UX as much, or DX, I guess, how do we make that thing just as like as fast as possible? And yes, you have to jump through like a bit of a hoops, but it's going to be like, it's going to worth it. And just like, let's just create like the fastest version of that idea. So that's kind of like how I look at it. So it's kind of like a bit of like writing an assembler, and yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, anyway, so we have computed, right? Again, it's like very like signals named. So it has scope, uh, and it has get, and it has return. Okay, so it doesn't have set. That's interesting, because I guess like computed always have to set something, so we didn't have to get it. And in the simpler version, it's just this. Uh, yeah. Okay. So now, yeah, I'm curious about a bit of like how the runtime works. Uh, right. So what does it mean fast here? Um, I think the answer is that it's doing the like the minimum amount of work that you would have done, right? So like if you're writing it in like vanilla JavaScript, what is the fastest way of like updating a counter, right? It's like on click, counter equals something, go find like a DOM element and like update it there. So like that's what I mean. Yeah, and I think it's I don't know if there are like any like benchmarks dropped, but I'm presuming it's probably going to be like faster than like Solid and Svelte 5, just because of like some of the like the shortcuts that I see that they did. um Load time, yeah, like I don't know the bundle size. I'm presuming it's probably like also pretty small, but we can try the like the production build and compare it. That's a good idea. uh Prod build and bundle size. Yeah, okay, so this is what I wanted to see. So it's interesting that like the how do I say it? It's interesting that this was compiled like a bit differently. It reminds me a bit of like, React compiler here. Yeah, and then we have render. Yes, it looks like signals. So like I'm curious why he said it's not signals. Right. Signals based reactivity runtime. I guess it's, yeah, I don't know what makes it not signals. Uh, okay, and how are you going to know that? I think let's get our friend debugger. Let's say without formatting again, because like the thing is funky. Yeah, let's just see where the effect is coming from. Right. So it's called blocks. Right. So it's using blocks instead of signals. Is that the whole idea? Block blocks JS. Oh yeah, he doesn't use yeah, he's using, it's funny like how he like picking different ideas from different things. But yeah, Swell doesn't use TypeScript, they use JS docs, so he's also using JS docs. That's funny. It's like function. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so it's block, I think it's called block DOM. Yeah, so there's this idea that is like, yeah, that is like kind of like alternatives to signals. Yeah, I never looked deeply into it, but yeah, maybe that's why he's saying it's not signals. Okay, so I'm basically looking into effect block. Okay, and how does that one? Yeah, that one doesn't have effects. So that's what's kind of like User effect. Interesting. Active block. Okay. So if I was a bit smarter, I would have looked at this and said, oh, yeah, that's how they do it. Pause block. Resume block. Is block dirty? Yeah. Yeah, and I think the block DOM is one of the like JS framework benchmark. I think it was like one of the fastest as well. Yeah, block DOM here. Yeah, it's uh yeah, it's like faster than Svelte and Solid by a bit, but yeah. Do they have Ripple? I don't think they have, but again, that's where he is trying to get. He's like, well, I know what is faster than Signals, and just like let's just go there. Yeah, um, yeah. I'm not like a, a web developer enough to know like what all of this stuff does, and all the like the next and first are coming from blocks. But yeah. Okay. But yeah, we know why it's not signals, and we know why it's not VDOM, right? So like if it's using block DOM approach, there's no VDOM, there's no signals. Even in runtime. Okay, so let's try production build. Right. So I had like the dev server running here. So now let's do build. I should probably clean this up, but uh, I'm not yet. Okay. So this is our format here. CSS. Okay. Yeah. So this is our scoped CSS, which is a nice feature. I never used it, but it's there. And this is our yeah. It's not going to be very easy to understand what's going on here. So let's try minify false, and let's try again. So the number is 8 kilobytes for gzipped. I think it's one of the smallest ones. I'm sure like Marco is going to be smaller, but but not much more, right? So that's the CSS and that's JS. Right, so polyfill. Interesting. What are we polyfilling? Module preload? Okay, so this looks like some sort of like Vite stuff. It's not like the framework itself. Right, so that's the runtime. Is Firefox funny? Like it has to do something differently depending if it's Firefox or not. Right. Okay. So that's all the runtime. Uh, that's like his whole implementation basically. But yeah, it doesn't have like hydration, so that's also like will make framework a bit smaller. Right. So that's where the application starts. Right. So this is the template. So like that's the HTML that. Right. So create fragment from HTML. Okay, interesting. My trouble with this thing was that let me quickly, let's go copy relative path. Yeah. So the thing that I would do is like you would run the so document not defined. I have the like exact same problem with Solid. They don't check if they're running in the browser code, and again, fair enough. Like not everyone does, but you can like accidentally break your like SSR build because of this. So they also have like that issue. And because Solid does exactly the same like template thing. Okay, I'm missing some chat again. Sorry. That's just a linked list. You mean the first and the next thing? Since we're talking about perf, does it do SSR? No, so it doesn't have SSR yet. Um, like the perf that they're looking for is this perf, right? They want to be like a blog DOM thing, right? They want to be like faster than vanilla web components, right? Like I think that's the idea. That's where they're seeing themselves. Anyway, uh, not a huge fan of those like template blocks, but the idea is that like you can create this kind of like thing quickly, and then you like put your stuff in it. So it will usually have some sort of like a placeholder, right? So this count like here, like it should have 0, right? But like it doesn't yet because like we didn't put it yet. So the on click, that's all the stuff that like we are writing. That's like our count component. So and uh, so that's there some sort of like scope. That's this stuff. That's all the like the placeholders, right? Is like, oh, get me the first child, and I'm going to add like a on click listener on it, right? Get me the like the next button. I'm going to add on click listener on that one. Get me the count. So like this one is not the count. Like, where's the text? Text. Interesting. Yeah. So here's the text, right? Like this is the placeholder where the state is going to be, right? So like track the state of the count, and if it changes, render the text. Yeah, so and in app, we should see the toggle, right? So like if toggle changes, then render the count component, right? And then like show some things. Interesting. This is like they're split in two. That's why they're like put separately. That's funny. Yeah, delegate clicks. I think delegate will probably also crash if you accidentally run it on the client. Yeah, it's all fine. Um, yeah, the thing about like the mount code is like I can do like if type of window or like type of document there, like don't mount. Like this is my client code. I can get it out of the runtime so like it doesn't break in Node, but I can't get the delegate or the template out of the server bundle, like because it's done by framework. So like that will crash during SSR. Again, usually not a problem, but it was enough of a problem for me with Solid before. Anyway, yeah, so it's small enough. uh I will do like a hello world probably, and we'll like measure that one. Okay. If Ripple already chose to be a language, why not get rid of unnecessary curly braces? Oh yeah. So that was a thing. Okay. They are not unnecessary. There is of course like Marco. I like mentioned it like 7 times already. Uh, yeah. So where is their playground? This one. Okay. So Marco is also a language, right? But like, how do you know that like this? Uh, how do you know if this is like a command or a text that person wants to print out, right? Like if here I wants to print out hello, right? Well, like I know that they want to print out hello, but like how do I tell it that like I want to print out hello with brackets, right? Like I need to escape it somehow. Will that work? No, it's not going to work. Maybe that will work. I don't know, Marco. Yeah, it doesn't close the tag, right? But like the question is like how do you know in which context you are? And for Marco, I think they have like this like short syntax where they allow you to do stuff like this, and it's like, well, sometimes let is inside of brackets, sometimes it's not. right? And if I have some sort of like, um, I think they have like an if tag, right? So, and inside of if tag, if I'm saying like value equals, like, I don't know, count more than 3, is this bracket like part of the closing bracket, or is it like part of the value, right? Like you need to know how to signal where stuff ends and where stuff begins. Um, Let me try to fix this, like so it actually runs. Tag doesn't support variables. Is it like if like this? Okay, I don't know market syntax. I'm just like trying to remember stuff from the stream. But that's sort of the thing of like, how do you know that like this one is a command, right? Do you always specify this sort of stuff, or can you like skip it and whatnot? And if I just have like hello, is hello a variable? Is hello like text? Like what should I do with hello, right? Yeah. So for them, it's like, well, if I have counter, like am I doing a variable? Like, am I calling something? Like, what should happen? Okay. So I want to do like like I'm going to do Theo right now. I'm going to do like a short uh, like section of my stream that I can like later cut out and like make a video out of it. I think I only done this a couple of times before, but yeah, we'll try. Okay, so the idea is that I'm going to I'm going to clean all of this up. I need to figure out how much I want to like leave there for the like the ideas. I don't want to leave anything that like doesn't work when like I save. If I save and like it breaks, like I don't want to have that. But I want to have kind of like everything else. Okay, so that's the part that doesn't break. And here I wanna probably leave the like the count. Yeah, like this part. Like the double count. That was fine. Uh, I wanna have effect probably, and the render. So yeah, so I'm not going to do the debug stuff because it doesn't work. But the style tags are fine. The app is fine. Okay, so I need to start it now. Dev. Okay. Uh, right. Okay. So this is fine. Oh yeah, I understand now why they did it separately for the. Okay. What is the X? Right. Okay. Right. So now that's the counter. Uh, and that we got this from dget here. Okay. Uh, right. So we figured all of those things out. Uh, I want to do the build again, right? And it's 4 KB, and should I have like some sort of cons? No, I think it's fine. Okay. Uh, okay. So this should be enough for my like short version of the video. I don't really know what's the order of this yet. So they're playground, right? Okay. Did I break it completely? Nope, it's fine. Okay. Uh, Okay. Uh, okay. And I guess if I'm editing, I can probably edit edit some parts out. But yeah, that's just more work for me. Uh, okay. Uh, yeah, give me a second. Yeah, let's summon the best Theo that I can as like sub nerds. I don't like how it's formatted. It's using like um tab formatting. Uh, and it's a bit like funky where the button doesn't match the thing. Maybe I need to change like tab size and then it works. Oh yeah, yeah. He was probably testing it on this. Okay, yeah, it looks a bit better. Okay, let's let's try to get into it. Uh, yeah, I need to jump from the stream soon, so that's why I want to kind of like go quickly through it. Okay. Oh yeah, the days since JS framework. Like that's where you start. That's the that's the thing. Okay. Uh, Hello. Today we're going to quickly look at the new JavaScript framework called Ripple. Obviously, you have to show the days since JavaScript framework.com because like new JS framework job. Uh, they recently added this website. It has not too much information, but I guess it's like a good enough introduction into like what it is. Some features, right? So it is inspired by Svelte and React and Block DOM. We're going to talk a bit about that kind of like later. The biggest thing that is kind of like interesting about it, right, is that it's using the kind of like a mix of kind of like Svelte and JSX and like something new. And you can see it kind of like here, right? So let count equals 0. That's like a very like svelte thing, right? There's like you're doing the dollar signs to denote that this thing is reactive. And then it doesn't have, oh yeah, it has like here, right? So like, and then inside of your kind of like markup, right, you just write your regular JavaScript. You can say like if something, then do something. The side effect of that is like every time that you use strings, you have to kind of like show the escape those strings, I guess, right? So like it knows that, oh, it's not like a JavaScript kind of like code that is happening here. It's just a string that I should print out. So yeah, it's a new look. I don't know, right? It's fun to see kind of like colon props and let dollar sign at the same time, and the if right without any of the like the hash marks or whatever they use in Svelte and I guess in Angular right now, right? Yeah, it's a new look. It's a cool like set of features. I don't know what exactly I want to like explain here. Yeah, I guess like TypeScript support out of the box. Svelte was like I think existed like for years before they started doing TypeScript. Also, like VS Code plugin again from the day one. That's like a pretty interesting thing that like uh, this you it wasn't always like a requirement, right? Like these days, like you can like have to do it. The other thing that I'm going to call out is the like the style scoping. That's a feature from Svelte, right? Like when you have like a style tag inside of your component, it's not like a global CSS. Like this container is going to be like that container, and it's going to yell at you if you're like not using it and all that stuff. So it's like a pretty cool thing. Yeah, so it has some like npm downloads. They pushed it like kind of like just days ago, uh right, uh 12 days ago. And yeah, uh, in terms of what I've kind of like did locally, is I took their basic example, I changed it a bit. I'm also using VS Code with their VS Code extension. I didn't figure it out how to use it in Cursor. Uh, oh well, I guess you can always like use manual installs. But yeah, I'm using VS Code here, and the thing that I'm going to call out, kind of like probably right away, is that they also like inspired by Flow like language kind of like level support of like what is a component, right? What is a hook? You can see that like the REPL inside of REPL files, you can use you can use like all of those features, right? And like you're calling out is like, hey, this is a component. Uh, and what's the other one? I forgot. There's like another term, but yeah, I only have component right now. um, yeah, I'm not using props. It's from like my previous experiments, but anyway. And I think the like the LED dollar sign, it works inside of like REPL as well. So if you're kind of like similar as like Svelte, right? So you can do like svelte.ts files, I think, in Svelte 5, where you like if you want to use like Svelte reactivity, you like outside of components, you could. But I didn't look kind of like into that. Yeah, so that's there. Yeah, so like the big on the kind of like tech side, the big thing is that they don't have VDOM and they don't have signals, right? Which you would expect that if it's like a mix between like React and Svelte, like it would have like one of those two things. But it's using this thing called block. As far as I'm aware, that's like a that's like a idea that was like first popularized by this like block DOM library, and you probably kind of like didn't hear about that, but it's like one of the like the fastest kind of like DOM libraries, right? So it's like between vanilla and like vanilla web components, right? So it's like it's a very like fast kind of like way of dealing with things, and there are some there are some like consequences of that. So yeah, just wanted to call out that like I was like, okay, we have effects, we have like render effects, we have like this and that, but like where are the signals? And it's like, well, there are no signals. It's all like block based. um so where are we going with this? Yeah, I guess I'm just going to show kind of like how it looks. Here's this application that I did. If you do production build, if the JavaScript bundle for like the whole application with like user code and like framework code is like 4 kilobyte gzip. Is like one of the smallest ones kind of like out there. Um, yeah, I don't even remember like maybe like something like Atomico has had, or like they had like different versions, and I think one of the versions was like kind of like as small as this. But yeah, so I have this like a slightly modified like a data regional example. So like I moved the counter into separate file. So for example, you can see that like the styles are scoped. So like if I move that style and like I move it into this application, right? It's not going to well yeah. So it's not going to apply, right? Because it's like when it says button, right? That's the button that like is in that file. If it's not in this file, like that style is not going to apply. Again, if you use Svelte before, you probably already know that. Yeah. So otherwise, yeah, it's kind of like it's almost like Svelte 3, right? Svelte 3 was kind of like based on like VDOM internally, kind of like or at least like a very like approach that was very close to VDOM. So this one is like it looks like Svelte 3, right? But it's using DOM. Oh, sorry, it's using blocks. Yeah, so you can express the same kind of like things with like count something and like double something. Then you can have effects that will like follow those changes and all that stuff. And again, if you use like Svelte 3, you can like mutate the state, you can read the state, all the like the normal things, right? The thing that I wanted to show is like if you're coming from if you're coming into this from React, right? So I have this like count render, right? That is like on a component kind of like level. This one is not shown until sorry, this one is only shown on the render, right? It's not going to be called again when the value is changing, right? So like it doesn't subscribe to count, right? Like it will only show the initial value and that's it. But this effect that is like subscribed to count, or like in this case to double, right? Like it will re-render. So again, that makes it very fast. Like if I click on something, I'm changing like one DOM node and like I'm rerunning like one effect. I'm not like calculating VDOM diffs and all that stuff. So from here, the part that I wanted to show is like in the app, I have this like toggle, right? And that toggle again, it's kind of like a mix of like React and Svelte, right? Svelte 3, I guess. Is like, well, show me this button, and if the toggle like true or false, show like different text, and on click call this code, right? Again, like if you're coming from this from React, you're like, what kind of hell is this? But this is how they're doing it in Svelte. But this is like a different in a new thing, right? Like in JSX, because everything is kind of like expression, you would like write a ternary for this. In REPL, you just like write like if. And then like the language server is basically not language server, but like the compiler, right? It will convert it to the thing, to the right thing. Okay, so what I wanted to show here is like if I hide this counter now, and if I show it, right, like I will see the render again, right? So like if that toggle was maybe like display none, right? Like if it was hiding it, like the element wouldn't be created and we wouldn't have seen the render called again. But now if we're hiding it and like mounting it back up, we will obviously see. uh I think the only thing that I wanted to kind of like to call out is that like very early days, kind of like it's not like in JS benchmark yet. We are just like thinking that it will be fast, right? Like we don't have the numbers yet. And it also doesn't have SSR yet. So SSR is obviously kind of like going to change the is going to change the complexity of this thing a bit. But yeah. Okay, so I feel like I called out kind of like everything. Yeah, 87 installs is, yeah, again, like super early days. No one is like knows what to do yet. Yeah, so I'm just going to show the kind of like the compiled output again for people who are like interested. um and uh yeah, I don't know if you ever like looked at this sort of stuff in like other frameworks, but I think like Svelte and Solid, they will have like this sort of like output on their playground, so you can take a look. Yeah, so the first thing that is like straight from like Svelte or Solid is like this template thing, right? So all of this is going to be compiled into this like kind of like optimized string that allows you to create like a like static markup kind of like right away, and then it will have uh kind of like walkers and like placeholders for like, oh, this is the thing that could change, or this is the thing that could have like a event listener and so on. So um okay, the part that I wanted to show is uh right, so like it creates the template first, then it can say like, oh, find me the first div, right? That's going to be the first div. Find me the first child of that div, that's going to be this button, and on that button make sure to add the on click listener, right? Then it's like, well, find me the text that is like inside of a span, so that's going to be this span and this text, right? It has this like one space of text, so that parser will create a DOM node. Otherwise, if you don't have anything, it will be empty, right? So like all of those like tricks that again like the like the newer frameworks use and whatnot. And so this one is going to be kind of like in the signals world. That is like, oh, that's a like a render effect. If the count changes, like set text to the counter, right? But yeah, they're using block. Oh, what's going on? They're using kind of like block approach. So, but like from outside, it looks like that. And again, what I was showing, right, is like the button to find the button to add on, click on it, and so on. So this one is, I think, oh, I guess that's probably like connecting to the parent. And I'm not entirely sure. But yeah. So this is our effect, right? So when the count is changing, oh sorry, no, that's like that's like a render. Sorry. So this is our component level kind of like thing, right? So like we had this console log and it converted it into this sort of like a kind of like effect that runs when the component is mounted. And then we have this effect that will like rerun every time that like our double thing changes, right? And the double is computed that is based on this like reactive variable. Yeah, so like this compiled output for my kind of like signals eyes looks very like similar, but yeah, obviously the like the implementation of all the like the computed and tracked and all that stuff is different, and yeah, presumably it is faster. There are like more tricky things about Ripple, and I don't know how much of that I can like want to talk about, because I had some issues with like I would like copy paste examples from README, and then like VS Code formatter will like remove them because it doesn't understand what is going on. I had this problem with like I'll add like a debugger symbol and it will like remove it. So yeah, obviously kind of like early days. Yeah, so the only thing that I want to kind of like call out, but I'm not going to show, is that they also have this whole idea um of like kind of like reactive props. So in React, like all the props are just values, right? So like if you get like count 0, that's 0. Like if it's going to change to 1, you're just going to get 1. There's like no way to kind of like to subscribe to prop changes or whatever, right? Your component is just going to be re-rendered at some point. So here it's a bit of like a different thing. Like reactive props are kind of like called out as reactive props, and they have kind of like this like a getter and setter thing. So that means that like children can like have a way to change your the state in the parents. I think you can like send them read only if you just like don't send the like the set name. So it's kind of like a bit of a balance between like kind of like how Solid is doing it and like how Svelte is doing it. But like the what I wanted to call out is that I think this is an example of like some of the things that like if you had a value that wasn't reactive and now it is, you will rewrite your components kind of like more than like compared to React or Solid or Svelte or whatever. But this is probably where they are getting some of the like the performance back, right? They're saying, well, that's a two different use cases, use different syntax to like to get those use cases. This will allow us to unlock some of the like the optimizations, right? So it's not the way that kind of like I think about it. This thing is closer to like assembly. It's like we're getting you the very basics on like how you can build your application. It's not going to be like super ergonomic for everything, right? Sometimes you will have to do some choices that will like affect your performance, and you will know when you're going to do it. That's kind of like how I treated that thing. Yeah, they also have like graphs and the context and stuff, but yeah, that's not going to be part of my demo. And yeah, that's kind of like Ripple. That's kind of like pretty exciting. Obviously Dominic, when he kind of like pushed this thing out, he said, "Oh, I'm hoping it will like make a ripple across all the like frameworks the same way as like kind of like Signals did, right? So like now everyone had to implement Signals, and I guess he's like trying to make ripples, trying to see if people are going to be like more accepting of like the block dome approach, maybe. If I'm not mistaken, that's what like Million JS also uses. But I didn't like do Million JS a lot, so to know exactly. But um, when people are saying is like, oh, what is the next thing for React, right? And they're like, are you going to use signals in React? In some sense, like they might do something like this instead, right? Like they already like halfway there with their compiler and all that stuff. So it's like, yeah, maybe he's right? So like maybe he knows something. Maybe like the new version of React is going to be like closer to this than the signals, for example. Right? So it's like a what is next after VDOM. But on the other hand, I'm not so sure, right? Like if anything, it probably like for React, it will never get more than like implementation detail. But yeah, maybe he's right, and maybe that will do some ripples. But yeah, it's like a very early days. Doesn't have SSR yet. But like he's a guy who knows what he's doing. So I'm sure he will figure all of this stuff out. And again, like having like TypeScript for support out of the box, having like VS Code, um, having like VS Code plugins from the day one and all that stuff. That's all like a signal that he's doing this thing pretty seriously. Okay, that's it. Yeah, so yeah, I will try to cut that part out and make it like a shorter video on my channel. And as for the stream, that's probably it. Yeah, I was thinking that I will show the like the compiled output, but I kind of like did it on a playground, so I don't think I need it. Okay. Yeah, thanks everyone who was in the chat, and